All right, listen up. Jaguar is certain that it is not a coincidence that Angie Stone passed away just weeks after publicly criticizing the same individuals she had been slamming for decades. Universal Music was one of the largest companies I was dealing with at the time, and I found out about it while I was getting through all of this. Part 2 of the unpleasant reality is this. We started looking into things to verify my statements and payments, but we discovered that some of my publishing, mechanicals, and royalties had been taken. My family and I were praying that Angie Stone's death would turn out to be a tragic accident, but with all this new information, something is definitely wrong. To add to the air of mystery surrounding this whole affair, a witness asserted that they helped someone just after the van crashed, possibly Angie Stone. This person's account is in line with the two collisions storyline offered by ALAA, and it emphasizes the mayhem that ensued when the 18-wheeler hit Angie's van. However, as this time, no one has been able to locate the witness's TikTok video. But after doing some research, I was able to locate it. This is the backstory. On Saturday morning, at around 4 o'clock, my daughter and I were on our way to Charleston, South Carolina, for her Sweet 16 celebration. We decelerated somewhat as we approached a trailer towing truck whose lights were activated. Next, I pulled over when I saw what appeared to be a recently flipped car in the fast lane. While ordering my daughter to remain in the car, I slapped on my flashers and dashed over. There were a lot of people attempting to get out of the van as I rushed over to see if anyone had phoned the police. Moreover, they were assisting this lady. She appeared to be out of it as I assisted her down from the van, but she was still shaky and unsteady as I firmly grasped her hand and pleaded with her to sit down. Then it seemed as if something brushed over me rather than ran over me as I plummeted to the ground from the air. It was as if something had suddenly swung over me, and when I stood up, I could hear screams. My daughter was the one whose cries I could only focus on. Now we know why she removed the video. Were they threats? What about the witness? Is she all right? Alternately, is everything happening for the sake of sacrifice, as Jaguar mentioned? Oh, and in light of the tragedy, Tyler Perry has delivered a lengthy sermon about how black artists need fair compensation. Sir, am I nothing more than a joke to you? Monique asked. I hope you're sitting down, baby, because a lot has been happening. Very well. Angie was reportedly traveling from Alabama to Atlanta in the rear of a vehicle when the incident occurred. When the cargo van overturned and was struck by a big rig, all save Angie managed to escape unharmed. According to a news release from the Alabama Highway Patrol, a 33-year-old man from Texas was driving a 2021 Freightliner Cascadia truck when his vehicle, a 2021 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van, flipped over on Saturday, March 1 at around 4:25 a.m. Angie was declared dead at the scene of the accident, while the Sprinter driver and 7 others in the van were transported to Baptist Medical Center for treatment. I mean, it seems like it was merely an accident at first sight, doesn't it? Various accounts started circulating on social media in the days after Angie Stone's death, casting doubt on the official version of events. Some comments implied that the crash was faked, and others denied the presence of an 18-wheeler. Some comments also implied that Angie Stone might not have died in the disaster and suggested that the van's passengers were trying to cover up the truth. However, have you heard what Jaguar knows like him have been proposing? The death was undoubtedly connected to Angie's decision to expose Universal Music Group. Now, Angie's 1,990 starting position as a songwriter for MCA is the root of her relationship to Universal Music Group. When MCA Records changed its name to Universal Studios, Inc. in 1996, its music section became Universal Music Group, and MCA Inc. itself became Universal Studios, Inc. As a songwriter, she joined forces with MCA Universal to establish the R&B trio Vertical Hold. But Angie found out in the weeks before she passed away that UMG had been stealing from her for decades. To top it all off, she documented the whole ordeal in a video. She detailed in great detail the theft of her wages that occurred over the course of her 40-plus-year employment. She began the video by explaining that she had to stop her tour schedule and get medical help right away because she was fighting a serious blood illness. Angie also revealed that she found some troubling patterns in her financial records while she was recovering in intensive care for 2 weeks. After that, she revealed the shocking truth. UMG has essentially stolen a lot of her publishing, royalties, and mechanicals. Angie expressed her confusion over the whereabouts of her royalties, which she hadn't received after being in the industry for 40 years or more. It was only after this revelation that she learned Universal Music had been pocketing her mechanicals and royalties. She was very dissatisfied with what she saw as carelessness and willful financial mismanagement in her open video. In addition to misrepresenting me and stealing from me, they have been acting independently and changing and moving lanes on me because they knew I was confused. I am not a lawyer, you see. The world is bigger than me. I figured out how to get up, get to work, put in long hours, make my money, and then come home, pay my bills, and take care of my family. Yes, that portion. On the legal side, it is the responsibility of the managers, agents, and attorneys you employ to steer clear of any ambiguity. She continued by saying she would stop at nothing to see that her children and grandchildren, as well as UMG, were compensated for their lives' labor. She went on to say that nobody has bothered to register her music in the right way. Additionally, she asserted that the corporations to which she transferred ownership of her tunes failed to appropriately register multiple class action lawsuits involving her music. Furthermore, she mentioned that a team was investigating the amount she felt she was entitled to. The artist market is full of unexpected changes, and she cautioned aspiring artists to be prepared. You're going to lose my coins, worldwide music. I just wanted to let you know that. Therefore, I am currently taking all required measures to ensure that my children and grandkids be compensated for the legacy of my life. My money will have to be returned to me. When you consider how famous artists like Bruno Mars and Dr. Dre have gotten money off of sampling music, you have to ask, what gives? My issue, perhaps? Oh, absolutely. So, you need to send in a diesel crew, that's what I call them, to fix the problem. Now consider this. Who do you believe is collecting the money that UMG owes Angie Stone now that she has passed away? In your opinion, will her offspring or other relatives be able to stand up against UMG? Sometime down the road, this case will probably just vanish. It appears that this is precisely the goal of UMG, according to Jaguar and others. So, Jaguar brought up a concert that she and Angie were going to conduct in the past. A cancellation of the show was being considered, she added, due to the weather. But later on, she said that Angie had assured her that they would go ahead and conduct the show nevertheless, simply because that was her personality. On her son's birthday, she revealed that Angie Stone had been physically relocated in real time. And she went on to say that she thinks Angie's death was a sacrifice. Jaguar car, according to Wright, Angie Stone was recently the victim of a robbery and was planning to sue UMG for theft. Once again, this has prompted numerous inquiries, such as, what exactly was taken from her residence? What was her level of success in the UMG case? Was there any connection between them and the break-in or the death? Like most people, Jag was certain that there was foul play. It is my sincere hope that this was a mere accident. Obviously, though, you all disagree that it was. The witness who stated they helped someone just after the van crashed, possibly Angie Stone, was also cited earlier. This witness emphasized the mayhem that ensued when the 18-wheeler hit, painting a picture that is in line with the two collision storyline offered by a LLA. Was there a threat that told her to remove the